Hello, hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the free-to-play review. So today's topic is going to be the latest iteration of the Summon Pool, specifically the Protectors Summon Pool 3 for the year of 2025. So once again, we have a bunch of HP-based champions, which may or may not be that enticing to you, depending upon your goals on your account. But the kind of main draw of this, of course, is that Shredder is up for grabs. He's part of the collaboration between Raid and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so he's up for grabs as one of the two headline champions. But alongside him, randomly, is Riho Bonespear, who's also decent, or well, arguably a better champion, depending on your need cases. But yeah, I like Riho. She's really good for like single target boss encounter. So the Sand Devil, Phantom Shogun's Grove, that style of stuff. She's a cleanser, but also a debuffer, single target, really strong. Shredder, from what I've seen, he doesn't hit hard enough. He has a lot of the problems that most HP-based nukers have, where his multipliers just aren't comparable to attack and defense-based nukers, especially when they have increased attack and increased defense to help bolster their damage. So he's a bit underwhelming, but nonetheless, he might be strong relative to you, depending on how you want to use him on your account. In terms of the rest of the champions in the legendary selection here, we do have some previous fusions, or a lot of previous fusions, and a couple of just older champions, but we have the most recent fusion. Granted, Doorkeep there up for grabs, relatively underwhelming once again in terms of HP-based nukers, but nonetheless he is serviceable, I would say, at least in Faction Wars Curse City type style. Artak, the GOAT for Ice Golem hard mode, HP burn, AoE, as well as activation, decrease attack, and then extension on the A1, super strong for that. Korgar, Deathbell, kind of gets a bad rap. I think he's okay. He's really annoying in enemy waves, that's for sure, but he's a cleanser, healer, protector type champion, so he's pretty darn serviceable, at least for the Ogren tribes. Packmaster Shayak, hopefully you got him with his path alongside Crocad's 5-star soul, but yeah, definitely strong with that tandem together. But other than that, he's not that particularly strong on his own. Great Ghost turn Drake, relatively underwhelming, but notable as one of the few block damage champions in the game, AoE block damage. Martu Macabre, the big bad boss of the campaign, still decently strong. He's still a threat. You know, he's relatively easy to deal with nowadays, but nonetheless, you can never forget that the peril can come out at any time, and usually it's 100% chance when you're going against him. And then we have a couple more previous fusions. Bivald with Thorn, good for like the early game, mid game progression into Hydra Clan boss. He's a decent healer. He's a provoker, and he has the specialty of not being able to land his provoke even on weak hits, kind of like Contra the Cyclone. So kind of unique in that regard. And then Ugur the Worm Eater, not really that strong. Another previous fusion. He's like meant to be this anti-revive champion where he just automatically activates an ability that knocks off your buffs when you revive them. But I don't know, he's never really seen the light of day, at least in the current arena meta. And then when it comes to the epics, a decent mix of, somewhat serviceable ones. Dude and the Runic, really good for like Endgame, Curse City, Faction Wars type stuff, helping protect your team, cleansing them with the A1. Husk, great for Hydra, of course, provoking on the A1, enemy max HP. Great, again, to kind of get you started. Eventually, you grow out of him, or you outgrow him, but getting going, he's a really serviceable epic for that. Miscreated Monster, more of like your traditional spider progression champion if you're more in the early game. Taragi the Frog, I always mention, he's one of the best ally protection champions in the game for a nested ally protection team. If you're trying to get into Demon Lord clan boss for an Ultra Nightmare and Nightmare, great alongside any other champion with ally protection on a 3-turn cooldown. AoE. Other honorable mentions, Magnar, one of the best, if not the best, HP based nuker as an epic. And then Rask, excellent healer with his active on the A1, or I guess his passive, but you primarily just spam your A1 to heal 10% of his max HP. And then Vogoth, another really strong healer with his passive. When he takes damage, he heals everyone else by 50%, which is pretty substantial and does add up over time in terms of protecting and healing for your squad. So when it comes to the odds of getting one of the legendaries, it's the pretty standard par for the course amount. 6% chance to get a legendary, 94% chance to get an epic, i.e. the equivalent of a sacred shard. And the way that breaks down is that you are more likely, just based on the number of champions in the respective pools, you're more likely to get one of the headline champions, i.e. a 0.75% chance for each of these, versus 4.5 divided by 8 across all of these guys, meaning it's a lot lower chance of you getting into this pool in general, but also just getting one of these champions. So the odds are with you, more so to speak, if you get a legendary at all, that you're going to get one of these two champions. But overall, of course, the overwhelming odds are that 94% of the time you're going to get an epic, meaning that you should not have your expectations set too high, because the most likely outcome is you just get one of the decent epics here. As always, when it comes to these summon pools, there is an air quotes free summon up for grabs in the tournament, specifically a Gear Ascension tournament, which means you get to your pick of the litter between running Sand Devil and or running Phantom Shogun's Grove. Of course, mathematically, Phantom Shogun's Grove stage 25 will be a little bit better than Sand Devil stage 25, but they're practically equivalent in terms of overall energy. But Phantom Shogun's Grove will be ever so slightly cheaper than Sand Devil in the long run. So it's all the way out there, of course, at 12,000 points, which is a substantial amount of energy. It is not a turn attack, so you just get rewarded for getting the rewards or the resources from the dungeons. And interestingly enough, I feel like they need to go in and rebalance this a little bit, but you get more by getting the lesser oils and extracts than you do from getting the higher ones, just because of the amounts that you're given per each of the stages versus the points that each tier of resource will grant you. So it is a bit odd. It seems a bit backwards. I feel like, if you get 10 super oils or superior oils, you should get more points than if you get 50 lesser, but I don't know, I digress. That's just how it is. But yeah, as you can see here, I'm at a whopping 0 points. I'm not participating in this, and that's a great segue into the overall summon pool. This is just one of those summon pools that's just kind of in the middle of something else that I'm focusing on, namely being the Ace Reporter Titan event. So I'm focusing my energy on that, and I don't really have the bandwidth to drop, I think it's around 6,000-ish energy over the next 3 days into Phantom Shogun's Grove and or Sand Devil. It doesn't really fit with what I'm going for. I need to work or finish Ice Golem here in the last 10 hours. I need to finish champion training, and then we got Spider starting tomorrow. So my energy is basically already slotted for other things. But if you're not going for the Titan event, this could be a good opportunity to potentially get Shredder or any other of the other legendaries in the. So it could be a good chance. It kind of depends what your immediate goals are in the near term. Obviously, this ends in 3 days. But yeah, it's just not really in the cards for me. Maybe I would feel a bit differently if there were more enticing champions in the legendary selection. Obviously, Shredder is unique and stuff, but like I said, he's not that great from what I've seen, and so I'm not really keen, or I'm not trying to chase him down, so to speak. I happen to have Riho. I have Packmaster from his original fusion. I have Artak because he was free. I did the Granite fusion. I don't have Mortu, but I do have Bivold and Ugur because they're previous fusions as well. So I have most of the champions once again, and the only one that I'd really be interested in having that I don't have would probably be Mortu Mikab, just because he's kind of fun, classic block revive threat champion whenever he's hit, and I think he would be really useful to send into certain teams that have a lot of AoE hits, like Kaimars and Galathirs and Maryses and stuff like that. But at that point, we're talking about like my tertiary wish list, not even my primary or secondary wish list, and so it's just not worth burning a bunch of gems. And that's essentially what I would have to do, is burn a bunch of gems in terms of energy in order to get this. And I would do that for someone I really, really want, but not for someone who's kind of way down the list. If you were curious about my progress in the Ace Reporter Titan event, I'm sitting pretty at 450 points. I have yet to do the Doorkeeper's Path just yet, so I've made a decent amount of progress down here, 6,600. My goal is to get to 6,800 just with the Dungeon Divers portion, so we're definitely on track to get that, and then I'll have to pull some shards a little bit later today in order to finish that out and get all 400 of those points. So effectively, you could say that I'm at 850 points in the Titan event, which would put me somewhere on the page 4 here. So yeah, 840 would put me at the Immortal Soulstone here. So pretty much done, so to speak, with up and through milestone 5, and then still on track to get all the way out through to milestone 5. So yeah, that's going to do it for the free-to-play review of the Protector Summon Pool 3 for 2025. Let me know in the comment section down below what your plans are relative to this summon pool. Are you going to farm the Sand Devil and or Phantom Shogun's Grove to get yourself the air quotes free summon to take your shot at the limited exclusive champion of Shredder, or hope that you get someone else you're not having, or someone you don't have from the pool of legendaries? Or maybe you're missing some of the epics, and that could be a good opportunity to get some of these pretty decent epics as well. Let me know all of that in the comment section down below. As always, if you did find this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button down below. It really does help out the channel, and feel free to hit the subscribe button down below as well, if and only if you're enjoying the content overall on this channel, for more content just like this one in the future. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.